Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the late August edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young. Yes, it's already past August 20th, and it feels kind of unsettled out there today, but it's always hot and great in here, and got a great guest tonight. He was kind of a last-minute fill-in, but believe me, I always say everything happens for a reason, and we'll talk to him and about him in a few minutes. First, got to read the underwriters. He's off some underwriters, and then we will commence with the show. So we got some new ones tonight. We got Western Carpet and Rugs in Norwell. We got Rivers Auto Incorporated in Abington. We got something for you, Dustin Plymouth, Rare Antiques and Gifts. We got another new one. Here's a new one. Wishbone Beauty Lounge in Marshfield. We got Platinum Auto Sales in Abington. Great place to get a car. We got Ocean Bluff Automotive in Marshfield, also known as OBA. And a new one, we got good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We got Plimpton Cycles in Plimpton. Great motorcycles and great service. We got Silhouette Motors in Brockton. We got another new one, Slack Tide Coffee Roasters in Marshfield. We got Marilexi Salon and Wellness Center in Marshfield, another new one. And we got Modern Auto Body in Brockton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, we will now start the show. So today we have this young man. This is Carlos Feliciano. He's an actor. And I met him at a party last year. Very happening party with one Erica Derrickson who threw it up in Lowell. I brought my pal Bob McCarthy, and we learned a little about him. We hooked up, and now I have him on as a guest. We talked about getting him on, and now we have him on. So, Carlos, thanks for coming on here and being with me on Topic Time tonight.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So glad to be here.
So you're an actor, and you've got a pretty good history, and you mentioned to me that before we started the show that you actually did some stuff down in Miami. You were living there for a while.
Yes.
Okay.
I was born in Miami.
Okay.
I did move to Central Florida for a little bit just before I got into the acting. I moved back down to Miami to get back into the industry and actually try to push it. Got a hold of a talent agency down there, Runways the Talent Group.
Okay.
Great place to work. Shout out to Peggy,
Okay.
who helped get me started on everything. Yeah, it's interesting. The Miami market is a lot different than the Boston market.
Okay. How so?
Well, a lot of the stuff they do down there is actually not for the U.S.
Okay, yeah,
So
because you're right on the border with Cuba.
Well, it's not just
close.
well, it's all over South America.
South America.
So there's a lot of projects that come through. Besides the fact that Telemundo Studios, Telemundo actually has a studio set down there.
Okay.
And I think Univision does somewhere as well. I haven't been to that one, but I've done work for Telemundo. But all of that is Spanish language, so it's all throughout South America and everything else. So
Yep.
and other commercials and whatnot that are strictly for like South America.
Okay.
So,
I understand. Okay. All right. So that having been said, you mentioned to me that your Spanish wasn't that good.
My Spanish is horrible.
Okay.
I can understand a decent amount. If I get a little bit of time to practice with the lines, I can do it.
Okay.
I am not doing great like Shakespearean dialogue or anything, but it with a little bit of work and some practice, I can do it. But
Okay, but what I'm getting at is, if you were when you were down in Miami, did you have to speak Spanish in the work you were doing? And
not really. Unfortunately, most of it was non-speaking featured extras.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like you did get to see my face and everything else. I was part of the scene with the main stars. One of the big ones, I did a bunch of episodes for Telemundo. Did a telenovela based off the movie Made in Manhattan.
Okay.
With Jennifer Lopez and Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they did a telenovela.
Did you actually work with them, with her?
No. See, they did their own Spanish language version of it.
Okay,
Into
yeah.
like a show.
Yep.
So I got called in a bunch of times to play security for
Okay.
the senator and everything else. So there was multiple scenes of me, security guard.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything
You're a big
else.
guy. You look like you could pass it off as a
Yeah.
security guard.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of shots with me or next to the senator or doing functions with the senator and
Okay.
everything else. So
Was it a real senator, or we were talking?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, they were all actors.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
understand.
So some of them were fairly big names in Spanish television.
Okay.
So yeah, they've bounced around and did a lot, and I'm so bad with names, I can't.
So,
Not any of them.
all right, now let's go back. I want to go back for even further. You were born in Miami, and you moved to Central Florida.
Yes.
So as a younger guy, you must have migrated to Miami to just hook up with that talent agency you just
Yeah.
mentioned, correct? Okay. And from there, it really kind of took off for you in Miami for a while, and then eventually. So how did that come to be?
Well, like I said, I moved back down to Miami, got together with them, put in the legwork, and try to figure stuff out. And things were a tough road. I did not find the acting community like I have here in Boston.
Okay.
The Boston area, whatever, where you do have people who get together, multiple, websites or Facebook groups
Okay.
where people get together. So I didn't really have that down there. I don't know if it was there and I just missed it or what. So it was a little bit more of a challenging road
Okay.
trying to navigate down there. Although you did have the talent agencies, which were a little easier to get into. They did most of the work, although not 100%. And they'd send you out periodically, and Florida's a right to work state, so you can actually work with multiple like talent agencies.
Okay.
So there's no like exclusivity or anything else.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, you can have like a couple.
Well, actually, I didn't think there was exclusivity anywhere. I mean, I know people that I've interviewed that have belonged to several agencies at once.
Well, it depends on the area. From what I've
does it?
learned,
Okay.
Some areas it's like. It also depends on the area you're working. Some places are like in New York or whatever, from what I've heard. It's like you have an agency in New York.
Okay.
So they cover that area, but if you're working in another market like Boston, they're not going to send you to stuff.
Okay.
So you can kind of have like an agent here in New England, an agent, down there in New York. So like that's fine, but you can't have like multiple agents in New York.
Okay.
Whereas-
Interesting. Okay, so New York, you're restricted.
Yeah, from what I've heard. Same with California. California,
Okay,
it's
so
like it's 100% exclusive.
Sounds like the bigger markets have the limitations, but
Yeah,
the smaller
yeah.
markets not so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go back to your childhood. So what were you like as a kid? I mean, did you work? Did you do acting as a kid? Did you play sports? What did you do?
I was a goofball. when I was a
All right,
kid.
that would have been my next question.
I love the camera. I've always loved the camera. I have memories.
Being in front of it.
In front of it, yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Well, sometimes behind it too.
Okay. But you didn't have any problems you weren't vain at all. I mean, you were confident that you looked good enough to be photographed.
Well, I didn't care if I looked good enough. I just liked being in front
Okay.
of the camera.
Well, some people feel funny about being photographed. Not you. You were the opposite.
Yeah,
you
I
were
loved it.
thrilled to be photographed.
Even as a kid,
Yep.
like family get-togethers, parties, we'd always have somebody with like a video camera to film.
Okay.
Somebody's birthday party or whatever, and I'd get in front of the camera and just do
Okay.
stupid faces or goof off or whatever else.
Cool.
So it was something I always knew and kind of always felt home with. Like just
Okay.
being in front of the camera.
Okay, so what about? I mean, what did you do other than that? Did you do any acting as a kid? Any in school or
I
play any
did
sports
not.
or play any music, sing, dance, whatever?
I was mostly a nerd.
Okay, I know you were a nerd, but did you do anything that was
Nothing that
enjoyable
not
aside
as
from
much
being
as interesting as I wanted. 'Cause
Okay.
I was pretty much a loner. Like I said, when I was in Miami, like I left Miami in what grade was it? 6th grade,
Okay.
basically. Moved to Central Florida, which was a whole different experience.
in Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I hear. I've never been to Florida, but
yeah, because I wasn't in like another big city. We moved to Lakeland, Florida, which
Okay.
is right smack in the middle of Tampa and Orlando.
I hear.
And at the time, smaller towns, smaller mentality, everything. So it's like, imagine going from like a really big city to, really small like town. Almost.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially since were you happy or not happy with the move, or were you indifferent?
I was not happy.
You weren't happy? Okay.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons.
Why did your parents move? Because for business, work?
Well, that was it. Parents separated.
Oh, okay.
So
sorry. Yeah.
I was living with my mom at the time. My father stayed in Miami.
I see. Okay.
And she was trying to get her life back on track
Sure.
and do things. So she went back to school and she eventually got her master's degree and
Okay.
stuff. So it was kind of that to kind of get away from Miami and do something more with her own life and
I
stuff.
understand.
So
Okay. So now, eventually, though, you decided something must have clicked in your brain to say, go back to Miami and hook up with this talent agency, correct?
yeah, well, like I said, it's something I always knew I wanted to do. And
Okay,
then,
acting, you mean?
Yeah, acting.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, acting was always something, and I tried to talk myself out of it for a while because this is a hard field to get into.
It is a hard field, and you didn't
So-
want, and rejection is part of it, obviously.
Yeah, and I didn't have the greatest family support. Nothing against them, but
No,
it's
I
like
understand.
it's
It's hard when you have a split family, I realize.
Yeah. Well, even outside family, it's not like they were against it, but it's like, they've all busted their ass and
Yeah.
worked and had
Of
to
course.
build themselves up. So
Right.
like to reach for this thing that you have tiny chance.
Okay.
They're not really like, yeah, go for it. So. Yeah, so eventually I said I met up with Runways the Talent Group, and I was like, screw it, I have to do this. I moved
Okay.
back down to Miami, and like I said, just try to navigate and do whatever I could, and
Okay, so you met up with a talent group. Was this was this before you went back to Miami?
I met her.
You met who? You met who?
Peggy McKinley.
Peggy
was
McKinley. Now, she
my,
owns this talent agency you're talking.
I don't know if she
Well,
owns it, but
she's
yeah,
a
I think
rep.
she was one of the head.
She's the one
header
who brought
ones.
you on board.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So there was an event in Tampa before I had moved where they pretty much got like talent agents and stuff from like around the world
Okay.
to come, and then people can like showcase their talent or whatever. They didn't guarantee anything. You basically just paid a little bit of money to kind of come up, try to impress some talent agents, and hope one of them see something in you enough.
Just
to sign.
curious, how much was a little money? $100
I
bucks?
don't remember. Yeah, I think it was just like a couple
$100 bucks?
$100.
Well, that doesn't sound too
unfortunately.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was hesitant too because you always hear about the scams and stuff.
Oh, of course.
But like I said, like they put it in there. They didn't promise you anything. They basically said this is just a chance
Right.
for you to get up and try to impress some talent agents. All they promised
No
was
hidden fees either. I mean, you
no.
pay them,
Yeah,
the flat rate,
You
and
pay
that's the
this.
end of that.
You come in.
Right.
We'll give you an opportunity to impress some talent agents, and the rest is on you.
Okay.
So if nothing happens, nothing happens. So I went ahead and did it, and so like I said, I met her, and she saw a little something, but again, I was living in Tampa. She, they worked out of Miami, and
Okay.
it's like took a little bit, and eventually I was like, I kept her contact info and everything else, and then she decided I got to do this.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
and then like I said, I moved down to Miami, and called her up, and she was like, okay, and
Well,
started sending me out on things.
So this is when, right, so this was, you had already done that event where you paid $100 to be seen by all these people.
Yeah.
What was the timeline between that and the time that you went back to Miami and Peggy started sending you on these projects? About a couple of years, maybe?
About a year.
A year, okay.
I think my
So basically you made a good impression on some people, obviously, because you got some assignments.
Yeah.
You got some work, and right.
Yeah, so she would send me out, and like I said again, trying to learn and stuff. I got a few commercials.
Were they national or just local down there?
Well, again, they were for like different markets and stuff too.
I see. Okay,
so,
you weren't sure then.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Like some of them, I have no idea where the heck they went. Like
Okay.
I did, like I helped out. I was second principal on a DirecTV commercial for somewhere in South America.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't even know where it was. I did do a print campaign for Humera, which was supposed to be for somewhere in Europe.
When you say print campaign, you mean did you take
Like modeling type
yourself?
stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you've done modeling too.
Well,
in a sense.
not like high fashion or
No,
anything
I know
else,
that, but it was like
catalog
you use it
type.
for commercials and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I got you. Well, that's still modeling. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that was a lot of fun. And yeah, like I said, it was for somewhere in Europe.
Okay.
Like it wasn't even.
Well, you've already gone international. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder. I wish I could find those pictures too, but again, it's like some of this stuff when it's not here, it's so hard to find.
Do you think Peggy might have it? Did she get you those deals, those projects?
You know what? I'm trying to remember that one if I got through her because I started working with them and I started working with another agency that's no longer in business.
Oh, okay.
So, but they were a good brand for a while too, and now I don't remember who did it because this was a while back before I moved up here.
Okay. Now the
So-
question is, why did you move up here? What was that reasoning?
Okay, well, there's a lot of reasons behind it. Me and my girlfriend moved up together.
Okay.
We kind of wanted something better. We wanted to
Speaking
leave
of your
Florida.
girlfriend, does she do acting or any of
No,
that stuff?
no.
Okay.
She is an amazing counselor. So
Counselor?
Yeah.
You want-
So she helps therapists.
Oh, I see.
counseling.
I got you.
Yeah. So she helps people a
Cope
lot.
with
Yeah.
life. I know.
So
I've seen a few myself.
she's great at her job too. So
Okay.
but yeah, so we were kind of like trying to narrow it down. We knew we wanted to get out of Florida just because we were both born down there.
Okay.
So it's like you want to change of pace.
Okay.
And then things really weren't going that great in Florida. Like she wanted a place that was better as far as mental health services and rulings and everything else.
Okay.
Florida doesn't always do the greatest job when it comes to like fundings and everything
Yeah.
else. At this time too, acting started tapering off again because Florida decided to kill their tax incentive.
Okay.
So it's like the projects that were being
That's a bad
filmed-
thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the tax incentives, although some people want to argue and debate it, did bring projects in.
Okay.
You know, it's like they.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right.
Yeah, because
So-
you know they come in, they spend however much money, they get a certain part of that back.
Okay.
So it's like it's incentive for them to come and spend here.
You're talking about filmmakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So filmmakers or whatever else. So we would get. So this was at the time. Like I said, we had Burn Notice was filming down there. The Glades
Okay.
was filming down there. A few other ones.
Did you get any parts in any of them?
Only as background.
Okay,
I
that's
did
fine.
go on a couple auditions. I had a callback for Burn Notice as one of the thugs one time.
Cool.
Didn't quite make it. But yeah, so like Florida decided to kill the tax incentive, and then
See, I always thought that killing the tax incentive was actually a good thing for filmmakers. They seek out areas where there is no tax incentive. By tax incentive, meaning that they don't have to pay taxes, or they pay less taxes than they would if, say, they were in California or New York. Isn't that true? Isn't that what that means to kill
for
the
the most part, yeah. Like I said, it's the way it's set up in a lot of these places. At least in Florida, it was like you get a certain amount of money back.
Right.
So if you come in and spend $100,000, $100,000, or
Assuming you're a filmmaker.
yeah. So you're a
Okay.
filmmaker. It's a 20% tax credit. You come in, spend $100,000.
Yeah.
You get $20,000 back.
Okay.
It's kind of like, so that's kind of the incentives. Like you spend this, but you're getting part of this back.
Okay.
Like the key things are you have to hire local,
Oh, I know. That's what
people,
Right,
so-
because that's what I think brought a lot of the filmmakers east from Hollywood, like
Yeah.
Spielberg and Scorsese.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, I've appeared in films with each of them. Okay, so
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of confusion on the tax incentives and what it does.
Okay.
But that's the thing, it's when the tax incentives left, I was hearing different things about projects.
Okay.
There was, I saw in the newspaper one project that they decided to film based on a true story.
Yeah.
Supposed to be in Florida.
Yep.
They decided to film it in London, and they came for literally like a week and a half to do external shots.
Okay.
You know, and then there was another story. I can't remember the name of these movies, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine.
But again, another one kind of based on a true story. There's a place called Ybor City in Tampa.
Okay,
It's
I've
their,
heard of it.
Yeah, their historic district. Been around. There's a lot of like clubs, bars, restaurants.
Okay.
I read that it was actually cheaper for them to build a replica of Ybor City somewhere in Georgia than it was to actually come film in Ybor City, Tampa.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because they got rid of the tax incentive, and Georgia has a tax incentive. That's why a lot of the films started going there because it's
Oh, I noticed
cheaper.
that. Like you might, I think you know J.P. Valenti. You know who he is?
Yeah.
Okay, he went to Georgia too.
Yeah.
I think that might be the reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why Georgia's booming right now.
Okay,
They
but we're
put in a
talking
good
about
tax.
you. So what
Yeah.
did you? When you came up to Boston, what exactly? How, did that benefit your career? You think? And if so,
yeah,
how
well,
so
the
much?
idea of coming up to Boston was like two-pronged for
Right.
me. It was
You and your girlfriend,
there's a good
right.
amount of things going on here.
Yep.
Not like there are some bigger projects, has a fairly good local market,
Yep.
small independent
filmmakers, right.
and stuff, and it's not that far from New York.
Right.
So
True.
this was kind of like I've been trying to build up my resume more, try
Yep.
to get some more footage and everything else to get a better reel.
Okay.
And then I was going to start reaching out to New York because it's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
It literally is the equivalent of driving from Miami to Orlando if I was going to go to Disney.
Right.
Or something. So
Yep.
that's the same distance, and we used to do that all the time. So
Yep.
it's like, so that was the idea. So that's why we kind of agreed upon Massachusetts for it. So because it did have benefits all around.
I understand. So, that having been said, what projects have you done up here, if any?
Unfortunately, not as much as I would like.
Okay.
Life,
Have you
life
gone to New
keeps
York, by the
throwing-
way, to do anything there?
No, I haven't done anything in New York yet.
Okay.
Life has thrown me a few curveballs
Okay.
since I've been up here. So it's like trying to build up, trying to do stuff, go on some auditions, and
Okay.
then now I got to step back a little bit to straighten some stuff out and whatnot.
Okay.
So still kind of like dealing with the last curveball at the moment. Like I said, I've gone on a few auditions.
Are you in
did-
SAG at all, or after?
Not yet.
Okay.
I've been dying to actually at least be eligible. I think I'm close, like as far as vouchers.
I think
and
all
stuff
you
goes,
need is
so I
a
gotta
speaking
look.
role.
Yeah, if I can get one good speaking role with it. And
Well,
everything
all right.
else too,
What about independent films around here? Have you done any that you can?
I was
or
doing
web series or
one-
something.
I was doing one that fell through last year.
Okay.
The project just kind of fell apart while we were filming. Problems with the production people. Like
Okay.
the director and the production people had some kind of argument. So it's like everything we filmed, he was supposed to give us copies of the footage, but it's kind of
I understand. What about now? Does Peggy still send you stuff now that you're up here?
No, I still have her contact and everything else, and I think they do have connections in New York, which I've thought about reaching out for, but again, with those life's little curveballs,
I understand.
not really in a
But what about-
position to move to hit things in New York.
Now, I met you at Erica Derrickson's party. We
Yes.
talked about that. She throws a hot party, and you were one of the actors that was, that went to the party, and it was great. So, what about the possibility of hooking up with more independent filmmakers up here? There are no limits to the number of agents you can have or the number of people you can work with.
Yeah, no, I said I definitely
all right,
want
so one
to,
project fell
so-
through, but there are still plenty more that you can look into being in.
Yeah,
to auditioning for.
I've submitted my resume and headshot to a couple other places.
Okay.
Like I said, it's been a couple months now, so I got to get back on it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, a couple things didn't go through. A couple things, like I said, auditions that didn't work out or whatever. So like I
Okay.
said, it's a long road.
Now, what about now? I asked you before. Have you done anything musical? Do you ever play an instrument, sing, or dance, whatever?
Not officially.
Okay.
Nothing project. I love doing karaoke. So and
Okay,
I've
well,
heard I
that's
had a
saying-
pretty good voice.
Yeah.
Maybe not Broadway quality, but
Well, I know, but but what about that? Now, have you ever written anything? Have you ever thought of it, trying to write a script of your own?
I actually have a few ideas that I want to try and write into a script.
Well, maybe you should try. Just even just a short script, and see if somebody. I mean, you must know a lot of people now that are filmmakers, being that you're up here, and that,
Yeah, it's building up. So I definitely wanted to reach out, and so that is the next thing on my to-do list. Actually, is
Okay.
kind of like if I have trouble finding projects, let me create some projects.
create them of your own. That's right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So, and I do know a good amount of people that I can probably get something to work out. Might take a little time, but
I mean, you have that actor look. You definitely do. You got. I mean, plus you said from a young age you love being in front of the camera.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason why that should be a problem. So it's just a matter of getting the ball rolling a little bit more.
yeah,
You remind me of a guest I had on a few weeks ago, named Jeremy Rosengrant, and he from Connecticut. I think he had the same situation. He had a lot going for him, and I think he needed a little shovel, something to light a fire under him.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds like you have the same thing going on. So that's what you might want to consider doing. Have you ever been in a music video that you're aware
music
of?
video. No.
Okay. And now one more thing. Even
Okay.
though you haven't been in Miami for a while, when was the last time you were down there?
I have not visited since I've moved up here, so it's been a little over 3 years now.
Oh, it has. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about, you should definitely give Peggy a call, see if there's something going on. Maybe down there you could go back and do something. I mean,
Yeah, I've thought about that a couple times too.
is there anything let me ask you this, was there anything that would keep you from doing it, assuming there was something available?
Money.
Money. Okay, but
So.
the idea of, you couldn't take an Amtrak train down to Miami? How much
No,
could that?
it is doable. Like that's part of the curveball right now. Money's
I
a little tight.
understand.
So
Okay.
if I can get things a little bit more on track with that, then it definitely becomes a possibility to head down maybe for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
I still got family
sounds
down
to me
there.
like,
So
right, you got family down there, and it
Yeah.
sounds like you did very well when you were there. Sounds like you had a lot of opportunities. And
yeah,
then,
it was building up. So
Right.
like I said, it was sad that the industry kind of started tapering off with the tax incentive cut. Although I heard they were trying to pass a new one, so maybe the projects will kick back.
Well, you
got
got to keep looking into stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the idea. You got to keep up on it and research it.
Yeah.
And that way, then you could figure out what your next move is going to be. There's a lot of people that I think you could talk to that that could keep you updated. Plus, you're online. You could get that information that way as well.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to know. You got your feet in the water. You already got your feet wet. Now you just got to do a little kicking. You got to kick the waves a little bit. You just
Yeah.
made that up. You want to write that down? Feel free.
Well, I still have a couple contacts on my like Facebook and
Right.
stuff too. Some acting acquaintances from down there. A couple of them actually have gone on to do quite a few things themselves that are not even in Florida anymore. They have gone on to California and everything else. to do
Well, I mean, that
projects.
sounds like
So,
it could work for you eventually. You just
Yeah.
you got to do the same thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, Carlos? We're under 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We made the half hour go by. So what I want,
That's
like I
good.
told you at the beginning, what I want you to do in the remaining time is give shouts out to people that are going to see the show. That includes Peggy, your girlfriend, your puppy, your cat, whatever, and then anyone, and then family members. There's people all over the world that are going to see it. So go ahead. Now we'll wrap it up.
Well, shout out to Peggy of course, like I said, thank you for giving me that start and kind of getting things going. Penelope, which is my girlfriend.
Cool.
Lovely name.
Cool name, yep.
Who's been very supportive on everything and been there, even though I have not been the greatest on my own. My best friends, David and Marcos, who've been there through thick and thin on a lot of stuff too. There are probably other people, but those are the main ones who kind of come to mind at the moment who
Okay, that's fine.
are really there and will actually watch this. Some of the people I have to like chase down, but
Well, that's cool. So now that we're in like late summer of 2019, what does the rest of the year look like for you? What do you got anything lined up specifically that you're doing?
nothing lined up yet. But that I'm hoping to change very soon. So like I said, I got to light that fire back under my ass and
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
and get it going. So I'm feeling it more. Like I said, things have kind of balanced out to some extent. I'm feeling more capable of actually being able to get back out there now, and the worst of this curveball is kind of passed.
Well, you know,
So-
it just occurred to me, your girlfriend's like a therapist, right? Kind of. Has she ever tried to, you know,
That's not
give you
ethical.
advice that could help you out?
Well, she'll point out things here and there, and she's helped me quite a bit in a
Sounds
lot
like
of
she's very
areas,
supportive
but-
of you. She should,
Yeah.
you know, being your girlfriend and you live with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then you should talk to her about, you know, if she has any advice for you, you should definitely listen to it, because this is where you need to, you know, you need to hit the trail running, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's-
She's helped me quite a bit, and there's a few things. That's why I said, like, I haven't always been receptive for my own issues.
I understand. I know the feeling.
Yeah. So I've been trying to be more receptive on everything, and then any
'Cause
input
you
give
got
me.
the potential to be very successful in the industry.
Thank you.
You just got to make it happen. You just got to roll with it. Well, listen, Carlos, I hope you had a good time with me tonight.
I did. It was
Okay,
fun.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and I hope, and if any of your friends that you know that act, send them my way. That's why I get a lot of guests, just through word of mouth. Love to meet them and interview them if I haven't already.
Yeah.
So on that note, are you ready to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. And here we go. And that's it.